Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin tells us his big sob story, and he wants us to play the tiny baby little violin about how he can't plan well.
Assuming you use that. And on this podcast, Evan teaches his son about paying it forward. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. It's all coming to an end.
It's all coming to an end. All of it's over.
School's ending, baseball's ending, and that's it feels like an oversight, is what I want to say.
Uh-huh.
It just feels like school's ending. It'd be nice to have an overlap of baseball.
Yeah.
You know?
I think baseball is probably still going in cities where they have like really good baseball teams.
Oh, yeah, the playoffs. That's I'm talking about for everybody.
Like year-round teams, that are just like producing baseball players.
No, I'm just talking about getting through the summer.
I know you are.
I just want to have fun.
I totally get that.
Just want to do something to do.
It does feel short. How many games do we play? 10 games? More than 6.
9.
It's not as many practices as I think we should have, and not as many games as I think we should have. So like it starts and then it feels like it's over, and I just enjoy being around kids learning baseball so much more than I thought I would. I thought I would really like it, and I just love it. And as much of an absolute waste of space as my son's coaches this year,
sure,
I try not to let that affect me too much. Certainly that the kids are not aware. Did we go over this? Last week it was at a different field, and he was not there, and it's like
I know you and I went over it.
Yeah, he wasn't there, and because he calls the league office and they give him some name and he remembers it. I mean, this guy's like 70 years old or whatever. He's just no spunk. He needs to hold on to the chain link fence to stay standing up, and he demands all the very old school demands the respect of the kids without offering much of it to them. So it's like
sounds older than 70.
What a recipe of not gonna go well.
Yeah, but you love the kids.
But I love the kids. I mean, like last week. Well, the funny thing is, and we get wrecked every week. My son's team just loses every week. And last week we show up, and it's like at this new field. It was on this. The thing is, it's on the schedule that he gave us at the beginning of the year that 2 of the games will be played at this other baseball field.
Yeah.
So we show up, and it's like, is this all we got? We got 4. And then one more kid shows up, and it's like, you need 6 to at least field somewhat of a team to compete. Mm-hmm. And then we reach out to all the other parents on the team, and none of the other kids are showing up. So we legitimately have 5 kids. That's all we're going to get this week.
It's a sweet spot.
So already it's
how every movie starts or ends.
But and the coach always tells us he wants us there an hour before the game.
Yeah.
For a warm-up for 10-year-olds.
Yeah, what do the muscles are just going to loosen themselves?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, give us at least 3 hours to get these kids nice and loose. You ever seen a 10-year-old kid pull a muscle? No. You need 15 minutes, whatever.
No, I haven't. But darn it if they don't complain like they do pretty regularly.
I know. Anyway, so, we get there, and it's like, he's not there. Yeah. We start going down the list of we're calling other family, texting that we're not going to be there. It's all right, we got 5. This other team has 13 kids.
Because they were there an hour early. They were warmed
up.
They're
ready to rock and roll.
Kid probably pulled his muscle on the way there.
We're also wondering, where is our coach? Where's this guy? We call him. It's like, we're not really sure what to do because we don't have enough kids. And the umpire's like, we should, we got 5 minutes before we got to start this thing. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, hey, can I talk to your coach? We're like, yeah, we don't know where he is. So we finally get him on the phone. And he's like, hello. And we're like, where are you? And he's like, I'm at this field. We're like, we give him the field that it's supposed to be. He's like, I got wrong information from the league office. And it was like, why weren't you calling all of us?
Yeah.
Because we were like, how many kids are with you? None. There's no kids. I've been waiting on everyone to show up. And it was like, so you wanted everyone there for an hour early, and you've been sitting there an hour just waiting for somebody, and you got 5 minutes to game time, and you haven't been reaching out to the parents wondering where everyone is, or thinking maybe you got it wrong? Fast forward, we still played the game. We asked the umpire, would you be willing to stick around? He's like, sure. It's an automatic forfeit for you guys. But I was like, you know what? Okay, today I'm the coach. And this is the lineup. This is what we're doing. And I told the kids, I don't care how many runs we score or don't score or get scored on us or how many outs. Today is learning and having fun. And we're just going to work together because we don't have a lot of kids. And great. We won 12-8.
Yeah.
First win of the season, even though it was chalked up to an L because we only had 5 kids.
Yeah.
And it was just like, man, what a Well, this is gonna be an hour of this. Anyway, I've loved it so. Like that day was so much fun because that's like I don't really care why he's not here. He's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And if other kids can't make it because I mean probably other kids like had a thing because they have these kids like my son had a game at 7:30 p.m. last night on a school night, 90-minute game. It's like that, right? And this was also a makeup game on a school night. And like, so a couple other kids' parents are just like, I don't know, maybe they're just like, we're not doing it. Or other parents are probably like, I don't like this. That guy doesn't respect the kids. We're not going.
Sure.
Whatever it is, we had 5 kids, But here we were having the most fun because it was just like, why don't we just have fun and see if we can learn something?
Right.
And talk to each other and learn.
Yeah.
And it was great. And we won. And we beat the other team. And who had like 12 kids in the field, by the way. But it was just enough of like, well, we already lost, so why not just, poke fun at each other a little bit? That's all exactly how I managed it.
Yeah.
Kid struck out. I was like, hey, you struck out swinging. I love that. Don't strike out looking, strike out swing. And it was like, it's exactly how it should be. As opposed to what he says is like, why'd you swing at that? Like all that like tropey stuff that you're just like, you don't deserve to be around teaching kids how to play baseball. In any fashion.
Your games are so late. We have had a couple late ones as well. We have a late one this week, but it's on a Friday, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We'll stay up a little late. We do anyway on the weekends.
Friday is kind of a thing. I mean, kids get excited about that kind of thing, but I mean, come on, man, night game? Come on. Who doesn't love a night game? But it's like, it's Wednesday.
I prefer...
we got home at 9:35.
I prefer a Saturday morning game. No, actually, Wednesday... My daughter had baseball practice. I didn't know if your game was at the normal fields that we have it at.
No, it was the one that he missed or whatever was at a different field.
No, this recent one.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Normal field.
It was normal field. So our practice finished at like 7:15.
Yeah.
And I was like, Evan's here. This kid's playing tonight. And she was like, is he really? I was like, yeah, he's playing a game because she just went and watched a game while my son was practicing.
Oh yeah.
Because she had practice first, then he had practice.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm gonna go watch that game a little bit. I was like, sure. So she watches the game a little bit, and she comes back. She's like, that was really cool. That was kid pitch. I was like, yeah, that's you next year. And I was like, Evan's gonna be here, and they have a game at 7:30. And she's like, can we please stay for it? And I went, no, it's an hour and a half. Absolutely not. It's like 7:30 on a Wednesday.
No,
we're not staying.
It's like, no. My wife and my daughter, she was like, I don't know if we're going to make it. And I was like, right, because the game is starting an hour after we normally eat dinner.
It is funny. The wheels have kind of come off on our season this year. So last year and this year, and I'm assuming the league did something right, which was they set us up that our practices were the same. We're back to back in the same field. It was last year that was the same thing.
Like your 2 kids, you mean?
My 2 kids. So last year it was back to back, and this year was back to back. Same day. It was just
Don't you think
one's
that's
at
lucky
6.
though? I mean, a bunch of parents have like 2 kids and all whatever.
They probably put them on the same team. Would be my guess. Maybe not. Maybe we just got lucky 2 years in a row.
So clever that you think the rec league office is really doing that kind of math.
I think it's an easy thing to do. I don't think there's as many as you think that
you're not wrong.
Multiple kids.
It is an easy thing to do.
So it was funny because at first I was like, this is great. My daughter's practice is first, and then my son's is second. And I was like, that's better because my son will be, they'll need his attention for the second half of it. I realized it's a lose-lose because for the first hour, he's just a wandering kid chasing those like prairie dogs or whatever those things are, gophers, just having fun. And he's just playing nonstop. Then it's his turn to play. And he was like, I want to go home. I'm so tired. And you're like,
yeah,
you have been running around for an hour.
Use an hour
in
warm-up.
the sun. Like, that's fine.
Hour warm-up.
He's loose. I mean, he swung great.
We get home and it's like, 9:30 at night. My son's like, I'm going to go right to bed in my uniform. I'm so tired. Like, yeah. You're usually asleep for an hour right now.
Do you, are you guys doing any camps this summer?
No, because we're going on a trip. We're going on a family trip.
Okay.
And that'll be like about 3 weeks of our time.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, we didn't look into extensive camp stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I figured the rest of the time will be filled with activities, and then maybe we'll look into something like later in the summer, but it might be like a week somewhere, at the Y
at
or
that
something.
point,
Maybe, maybe. But they're gonna have a jam-packed early part of the summer, so that I think it would be okay if I'm cool. Like we're cool with them if like it's a pretty chill.
Yeah.
Fill the day with what do you guys feel like doing today kind of thing, rather than, because camp is awesome, but camp is also like school in the sense that you're out of the house at whatever 8 o'clock or whatever the time is.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot.
they're on there on a schedule, and they have a scheduled day, and they're burning their energy and coming home just like they would normally. I mean, it's different from school because obviously they're doing like a lot of really fun activities, and sometimes they go on field trips and everything, but it's still like eats part of their summer where what I'm saying is like we're already burning at least half their summer with like, okay, we're not doing like play dates with friends and stuff like that because we're going to be gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we'll see how the second half of summer goes, but
good luck.
But I've really, the last 2 years we did camp, and I've really enjoyed it because 3 days of summer
longer.
of having your kids not be in school and just at home all day, you're like, I got to figure out something where for you, some of you guys get to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've already like made like not promises to myself because I'm not an idiot totally. And it's like
I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid.
I was like, I'm gonna have to plan ahead, like know what the full day looks like. But I've decided there are gonna be there's gonna be days where it's like I'm gonna go for no screens a couple of days a week throughout the whole summer. Not that the other days are gonna be like go nuts.
Yeah.
Go until your eyes glass over and you start shaking like you drank too much coffee.
Yeah.
They're vibrating and their eyes are pale. But I was like, just do a couple of days where it's like, just find something to do, figure it out. Because we're not doing camp either, but that's because my wife is working a little bit into the summer, and then she'll be off for a little bit, and then ideally that should be great. And then we'll just kind of learn too, because then we'll both be home.
Yeah.
To offset it, we're very apprehensive about it. We're looking forward to it, but we're definitely just like, it's going to be all hands on deck.
It's like it's an annual reminder of how much you should appreciate and how much more we should pay teachers.
Yeah. Well, they need the break too. That's the tough part. It's like
the children?
No, the teachers. They deserve the break from the kids, and they need the summer break.
Sure.
So,
and where they're not working and not getting paid, and then when they are working, we're paying them so little.
I'd say pay them enough that they can live the year.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's not what you said. You said appreciate. That's like an apple.
Appreciate
it's like
with
a gift card.
In a monetary way, with money, cash money. Cash is king, Kevin.
Cash is king. No, 100%. We're getting into the summer, and then we'll just see what happens. We'll do our best, and it'll go sideways, and there'll be content, and then everybody will be happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. At least we'll get content, because going into summer with not much of a plan, thinking like we'll see how it goes with children not in school around you.
Oh no, we've been planning for it. We've gotten we've already gotten our what is it called, Sky Zone trampoline park subscription for the summer.
Yeah,
got little things like we're coordinating. Like my brother and sister-in-law, they're getting a giant inflatable, like not pool, but like giant splash pad, like the ones that are ridiculous.
Sure. Yeah.
And my wife and I are talking about getting one too. It's like, let's plan this out. Let's figure out things to do.
Nothing you're gonna pick will last the whole summer.
I know. That's why you got to
pick
several.
Several things that will last like about a week's worth of fun.
Yeah.
Before they're like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, which means we might have to space out the splash pads, because even if we both have splash pads, even if they're similar, they're different. So they're exciting.
Sunday's splash day,
Oh no, it's I don't know what to do today splash day.
Yeah.
And it's 119.
Yeah. I know.
Well, let's get into the dumb dad moments because my dumb dad moment is brought to you by the end of the year.
Okay.
And
end of the school year.
End of the school year. It's all coming to a close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is funny. I don't care about New Year's. The end of the school year, it's different.
The end of the school year really feels like the end of the year.
It really feels like the end of days. But so my daughter has been taking these violin classes. And it was funny because she started taking violin classes around the same time my son was taking this like cute and cuddly animal class, which is adorable. Just like a kindergartner.
What does that even mean?
This is exactly what it is. kindergartners taking a class, and they bring in it's after school, and they bring in a different animal. The kids learn about the animal.
An actual animal.
Yeah, and the kids get to pet the animal, and like it's cute.
That's pretty good.
It's a pretty good little after school class.
You didn't really sell it with the name. It doesn't sound like that actually might
Cute
be
and cuddly animals.
Well, yeah,
it's
but
all
I mean,
lizards with huge claws that if they put them on you, those type that immediately go, sink their claws in you.
Yeah, this is a Komodo dragon.
Yeah.
Swallowed one of these kids whole last year. You want to keep
they
your
bite
distance.
you, they will just track you until you get weak, and then they'll go for it.
Yeah. So anyway, keep your distance. This one's name is Fred.
So it was funny that he was taking. They started the class around the same time, if not the same time, and then I found out his class was like ending. It was like 6 weeks, something like that, and they were like, "All right, this is the last one," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Assuming, all right, well then the violin's done too, and they're like, "No, that one keeps going through June." I was like, "Oh, what? All right." And she's just taking.
Like, have you heard her? She hasn't learned it yet.
Let me finish. So she takes it, every Friday, end of the week. It's from 4 to 4:30, and that's just a thing she just has every Friday.
Yeah.
I've forgotten many Fridays. I won't say most.
That it even is happening?
Yeah. Like 4:25. We're like, oh. Like we brought him to, like, it took me too long and missing too many before I just made a every week alarm on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Every Friday at 4:20 or 3:50, the alarm goes off. And you're like, right. And ever since
What is that? Who
here's
is
the thing.
calling?
Ever since I set that alarm, I haven't needed the alarm. But I won't be turning off the alarm. You know how that goes.
Yeah, if you turn it off, you're going to forget again.
But it's like, I every Friday I remember.
We talked about that today.
Before the alarm goes off. It's the same thing as like, let me write this down, and then I can just take this paper and chuck it into a fire. Because now that I've written it down, I won't forget. But I forget until I write it down. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We talked about this today. On a holiday week, you're not really sure when they're going to come pick your cans up on the curb.
Yes.
So you put them out on the normal day, which means they're not coming to get them.
It's a holiday. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. If you assume it's a holiday, I'm not going to put them out today because today's a normal day, they will show up and you will miss it. That's exactly how it works.
Can I just dad tangent real quick?
Go for it.
So yesterday I was like, well, yesterday's the day we take out the barrels.
Sure.
And I was like, well, Memorial Day was this week.
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Day seems like one of the big ones. One of the ones that the U.S. would observe and not have
a bank holiday.
Uh-huh. But they're really particular. The waste management company that they were like, we don't do all. They don't do bank holidays. They'll take the bank holidays, cut them in a third. So I was like, I was tired last night. I was like, I don't want to take out the barrels.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to look them up, even though looking it up took about the same amount of time.
More. There's no way that you had looked it up faster.
So I looked at
some citywide website
showing
you when they're going to bring the barrels. Then you could just walk the barrels.
I went to the waste management website, and it was like, I was like, holidays, and they were like, depends where you live, and I was like, I live here, and they were like, Memorial Day, you have Memorial Day off, so your garbage is going to be delayed a day. You don't have to, just make sure you bring them out the next day.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's off. Interesting. Thank God. I texted my wife, and I was like, looks like I'm not, or I told her, I was like walking by, I was like, I don't think the barrels are tonight. She's like, I'm pretty sure the barrels are tonight. And I was like, why? No, the website said no. Then she like looks something up, sends it to me, and it has a different set of holidays.
Yeah.
And I just go, well, it doesn't matter if you're right or not. Now I have to take them out.
Yeah, exactly.
And I took them out, and they came today. But I was like, I was on their website.
They came today for us as well, and I thought there was no way that they're coming today because it was a holiday week.
Anyway, back to my daughter. But it's just so I set the alarm, and now I don't forget. But we've missed way too many of them, and every time I miss it, I go, bummer. And I will say, it was funny you were saying she has practice. What's funny about that though is she will go it's around the time that she was missing a lot. She hasn't missed as much lately, but around the time she was missing a lot, she was like, "Do you want to hear me play?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm."
So much.
My gosh, let me turn
off.
off
I hear it so much.
This professional music.
And they put in my sound enhancing Kleenex wads in my ears so I can really hear all the notes.
And she's still got she's got that kid superpower. She's like, okay. And then she plays the song incredibly well. That you're just like, oh, that was great, buddy. That was actually great.
Yeah.
That was better than it should be.
Which is danger because then she's like, you're like, you should practice. I don't need to practice. I already know the song.
I proved it to you. This was a test. Maybe stop taking me.
Yes, you physically played the song.
Yeah. Can't rely on what you just did right now forever.
Yeah. I already know how to sing. Why would I take singing lessons?
Exactly. It's that. So.
And it's like, how do you explain because the people that make millions of dollars have a voice coach.
Yeah.
And they still practice.
They have a vocal coach.
But you can't. How do you
do warm-ups in them before they go on stage? Anyway, It was one of those things where I was like, man, we've missed so many, which is only just disappointing because it's a free program through the school.
Yeah.
That was just like, this is
You're
like
not even taking advantage of it.
No, not taking full advantage of it. And it was just like, oh, well, that's a bummer. And then come to find out that she and all of the kids who have been doing it for months are performing at the talent show next week. And I was like,
whoopsies.
I was like, oh, that's why you've been doing it for so long, because
really got to get that.
You're preparing for a show.
Sessions in.
I didn't put together to be a show at all. Didn't even cross my mind that I was like, when the cute and cuddly animals ended, nothing went off in my brain going, why would hers go longer? That doesn't.
Why? Because
like,
you never
cool.
you never had a recital, did you?
I
never were in a recital. You would have said you were in one already.
I guess I was in a high school. I did a couple ballet recitals. Are they still recitals when you're in high school, or are they just shows?
I couldn't tell you, my friend.
I was in the Nutcracker.
Performances?
Yeah, well, then a recital's a performance. What makes it a recital? What's the age cutoff for a recital?
8.
You made that up.
Yes, I did.
Sounds good, though. It sounds pretty good.
It's a pretty well-rounded number that's like before 8, kid. After 8, kind of big kid stuff.
Our daughter said that to us the other day. She goes, after this week, I'm going to be a preteen. And I was like, no. Looked it up before I argued with her, and I was like, that's a preteen. 9 to 12 is preteen.
Yeah.
Thought it was 8. Or sorry, that was 10. I just figured, my wife and I both were like
10, 11, 12, yeah. That seems more correct, but 9, it blends it in there.
Well, it's the internet, and the internet told me that, and they're never wrong. So,
Kevin,
Jin.
They're not going to take all the effort to put something on the internet that's not true. You know how hard it is to put something on the internet?
Yeah.
To have it stick there on the internet?
That's called the deep sea.
Why would you put something on there if it's not true?
Called a deep sea fake.
My dumb dad moment is brought to you by tomfoolery.
Okay.
And just trying to have a good time. Now, I will admit, Kevin.
I wonder how many dumb dad moments in the real world outside of this podcast are from somebody going, I was just trying to have a good time.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Like, when somebody dies in a stupid way, that's why the phrase hold my beer or, hey, watch this, man, is usually uttered before that.
That's what happened to King Kong.
Is it?
He said, hold my beer, and he climbed that building.
Yeah.
And then he died.
They were like, he couldn't hold it. It's too big. It's a huge beer.
Yeah.
So I will say this. This dumb dad moment has not come back to bite me yet. I know it's looming, and I don't know in which way, so we'll have to stay tuned. Before I even had kids, my wife and I used to play this silly game. With one of our roommates, our roommate Kelly. I do not remember how this even happened, but it became a thing in our household that if you went outside lackadaisically and someone noticed it and locked the door behind you because it was the kind of outdoor adventure that was like, going to get the mail or something like that, innocent enough, and you lock the door behind you, the only way to get back in was to dance so everyone could see you. Okay. And then inside people would clap and, cheer. And this is fun because I was like
like this
people with neighbors could see you.
It was like before television or something?
Yeah, this is back in the 80s when everything was black and white. And we did this. And my wife and I also did this like in our apartment when we lived with each other. I think my wife and I used to do it to each other. It's like how it really started.
Okay.
And just like messing with each other, like,
Yeah.
all right, let me see your dance moves. You're not coming back in the house until I see some good dance moves. And then, you don't just let it go for like 10 seconds or so, 15 seconds of good quality. Let me see some effort dance moves. Then you unlock the door. And it's like a bit of a giggle. Mm-hmm. I did that to my son the other day. My wife and I did that to our son the other day because he went and took the garbage out. And he tries to open the door and it's locked. And he's like, oh, man. And we're like standing at the front looking out the window. And he's like, that's on you, bud. That's on you. The only way to get back in the house is to dance. And he's like, oh, man. And we're like, yeah, go in the driveway. Go out in the driveway so where we can see you. We're like shouting at him through the glass. And he's like, starts dancing. And I was like, all right, now turn around, say hi to the neighbors. And they weren't there. But of course, he's like, oh, God. And runs back up to the front door. We let him in. And I'll have a big laugh.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was like, so that was fun. We also just taught him how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So intentionally, about an hour and a half later, I said something like, I'm going to go out to the garage. I'll be back in a second. And I could just see his little brain.
Yeah.
Like, this is my opportunity. This is my chance. And so before I even went out there,
You unlocked the back door.
I went and got my car keys. I went and got my house keys and put them in my pocket. And as soon as I went outside, it was like 2 seconds later, I heard the latch go for the door.
Perfect.
And he's over there like, I can hear him giggling inside. And I went in the garage, grabbed whatever I needed to grab and came back inside and just casually unlocked the door. And he's like, oh, man, you got to be kidding me. And I was like, yeah. You don't think I don't know this? I invented the game, pal.
Yeah.
And my wife and I today, when I was coming over here, took out the garbage. Didn't make an announcement about it or whatever, but this is how I know that this is going to bite me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't make an announcement other than I said, hey, I'm going. I got to go to Kevin's. And he's like, okay, give me a hug. And my wife followed me out the door. I had the recycling. She had the garbage. We were just taking it out together. And my son noticed that we both left the house. And we got about 6 steps away from the door. And I heard the door shut and latch. And he was like, and then from inside I hear him going, yes, I got them both. Oh, yes. And we both just start laughing. And I was like, well, first of all, I have my car keys.
Yeah.
And second of all, the back door slider was open and the screen was shut. So we had some little, get a little breeze going.
Sure.
So took the recycling and the garbage out, gave my wife a kiss on the cheek, and I casually let her into the backyard and shut the gate and headed on down to your house. And I only got about halfway to my car before I heard her enter the back slider. And he goes, oh, come on. It's like, so I know he's looking for it.
Yeah.
And whatever, to each his own. If he gets me, that's totally fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'll honor the thing. But what I'm a little bit worried about is he's going to catch me somewhere that I don't want to get caught. Our house, totally fine. Mm-hmm. Trader Joe's parking lot, if I put the card away and the keys are in there and he locks it or something like that,
Oh.
then that's a little bit more of oopsies.
Is that when you become more serious and you're like, it doesn't work like that, bud?
No, because, then I'm teaching him that I'm a liar.
So it's just anywhere the door gets locked?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's an awful game.
Yeah, but you think about it, it's in good fun. It's in good fun, but I think I don't know. I don't know if I should have taught him that. Because I think that's my dumb dad moment, and it's gonna bite me. I don't know when.
Yeah.
If the thing is, if he gets me the first time, if he gets me at home, that's fine. But now he knows, now he can get me. Now so you see, the Pandora's box is about to be completely open.
Yeah, you have to have those keys for a while.
I will not leave the house without a house key.
Or a hide key.
Or a hide key.
Hide key might be the solve.
You ever done hide key? Do you have a hide key?
No. My parents had a hide key, but it made more sense.
Like when you grew up?
Small town. Yeah, I think we broke into the house too many times.
Yeah.
It was we'd either forget our keys or something, and we'd go home.
I know how to carefully get in my house, which is kind of I know that, but that also means someone could figure it out. That's kind of scary.
In your current house?
Yeah.
There's no way to. If all my doors and windows are locked, there's no way to get in my house. I made it that way.
I'll see you tonight at 11:30.
I'll tuck you in.
I'm standing away. Kevin, can I have a glass of water? You son of a bitch.
When you lock me out, I dance. What happens when you lock me in?
You dance.
Nightmares.
It's going to come back to get me. I don't know when, but stay tuned, sports fans.
When are you going on your trip?
You're going to get into my house? There will be people there.
Change the locks. Then you're forever locked out.
Yeah.
You dance until I
I'm
say.
gonna dance until you drop. Like the day after, like 2 days day after the kids get out of school. The thing is, like, my wife has a sabbatical this year.
Yeah.
And the plan has always been to like go do something never done before.
Yeah.
We're taking a train to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Never been to New Orleans before.
It's great.
And then renting a car and going to Atlanta and seeing some friends of ours and a couple mutual friends. Know a few people in Atlanta, but a couple mutual friends of ours that are in Atlanta. Never been to Atlanta either. So it's already going to be hot, but we're thinking like we just catch it at the earliest possible part of the summer. At least, it's like if we went in whatever late July, that'd be way worse.
Yeah.
So early June, hopefully, just kind of bad.
It will be.
Yeah, it will be, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fun. I think that's great. I hope you have a great time. And we'll see you when you get back. But I guess we'll do one, maybe two more podcasts before you go. And then I guess we'll take a break. And then we'll
Maybe. I mean, I don't
see
know.
what
Maybe
happens
see,
there.
there could be we could figure out like a remote thing or something. We'll figure it out.
All right.
We'll see what we can
Stay
do.
tuned, everybody.
Because it'd be fun to be checking in with downtown Sweatsville where I'll be with back here the chaos schedule, and we'll just see where we are. See how the violin recital went.
Well, that'll be before, but sure.
It'll be before I leave.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I guess because it's end of
During
school
school
performance.
year,
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about it. Excited to hear about it. I mean, it's funny. My daughter is done. Today she's like, no more spelling tests and stuff, and I'm like, oh god, summer really has to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They got their yearbooks. They're checking out. Oh, before we go, let me ask you a question. This is so funny. Last year I asked my son. And I remember, I'm pretty sure we got yearbooks in elementary school. Did you get yearbooks in elementary school?
I don't know. No idea.
No idea. Definitely got them in middle school and of course in high school. And I remember having the cool thing about yearbooks was you're so excited to get them.
Yeah.
Thumb through them and see all the all your friends' pictures, and then the external extracurricular activity pictures and football game pictures and stuff, and assembly pictures. Maybe you got in a couple pictures, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then spending the last couple weeks or week of school or whatever, and making sure you get all your friends to write a little something in your yearbook.
Yeah.
And I'm positioning this to my son. And he's doesn't even get it at all. Why would I have my friends do that or anything? But I'm definitely misremembering as if that was always the case. Really, it's in high school, it means a lot. I think, at the end of the school year, it was definitely a thing. I mean, I would assume it still is, but it's definitely a thing to have your friends sign it and what a year and personal notes to each other and stuff. Those mean a lot at those times. But he's 10 and he's in 4th grade. I'm like, you should carry a pen with you, man, and have your friends write something there. He's like, yeah, I think I like the 4th grade one because next year will be 5th grade and that'll be my last year at elementary school. So I could see doing that. But this year, I think I just don't want to have anybody write anything in it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But of course, yeah, sure. But yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't remember going around elementary school and having all my friends write in my elementary school yearbook, if I even had one.
If I had one,
you know what I mean?
I know that I just looked at it and went, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, or that it was even a thing kids wouldn't. It was a thing. It wasn't they suggested when we got yearbooks in high school, hey, you should. By the way, you could get a pen and have some. It was just an understood thing.
Yeah.
That everyone did, and it was awesome. You have people filling your front and back or whatever, writing under their little funny little notes and
we did it for my daughter's
interesting spaces in the yearbook, whatever. But I just I remember that as that's what you do with the yearbook. Get a pen, have your friends write stuff. He's like, have them write what?
They'll text me.
Their handwriting sucks.
They'll text me if they want to say anything.
That's the other thing too. I did think about that the other day. When you leave high school, you're thinking I'm going to have all my friends write in this. I don't know how many I'm going to see, so this will be a little memento, but it's you can see them or talk to them or visually video call them whenever you want.
Yeah. Whatever.
And that's not something new, by the way, obviously. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, that's wild. I mean, that's probably less of a of course it is. It's less of a concern that you won't see people anymore because
see them whenever you want.
See them whenever you want. Video call your friend who went to Nebraska for school. See how they're doing or whatever. He wanted to be a Cornhusker. I don't know.
Switch schools in 5th grade to go to Nebraska.
No, I mean when they leave high school.
Okay. Cool. Well, no, I agree with you. I don't know. We're not going to. I don't know if we'll ask her to do it if she wants to do that, but she probably won't. Probably it'll be the same.
Ask her if it's like a thing. Do kids do it? See what she says.
Yeah. Okay.
I bet she's like, what? Why would you?
Do you have my water or not? I have to go. The bell's ringing.
Yeah. What a weird question.
Well, guys, if you have any end-of-year stories, dumb parent moments, you guys can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, and you can DM us. We are at the Dumb Dads on Instagram. We're at the Dumb Dads on all social platforms, so please give us a follow, rate, and review this podcast if you haven't already. Thanks to Verdú on SoundCloud for the music of this podcast, and my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. You got a joke to take us out?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of which one I told you last week.
Okay.
Do you remember which one it was?
Nope. They're very forgettable.
How do you put a hippopotamus in the refrigerator?
Put a little boogie in it. What else you got?
No. You open the fridge, stick the hippopotamus in, you close the door. How do you put a rhino in the refrigerator? How do you put a rhino in the refrigerator?
You open the door and put him in, close the door.
No, you open the door, you take the hippopotamus out, you stick the rhinoceros in, you close the door.
So this is a walk-in? See, I need the dimensions.
The lion, King of the Jungle, calls an all-animal meeting. Okay, and everyone showed up except the rhinoceros. Do you know why?
It's in the refrigerator.
This is in the refrigerator.
So is this Zootopia? So there's refrigerators and a lion can reach people, I'm assuming via wire?
I told that joke to a couple of my friends, including my wife, and she was like, why is the lion the king of the jungle? The lion lives in the Sahara. And I was like, what?
That's
I
just
don't know.
what we've called
How
them.
did this is the first time anyone's... I know. And I was like, because we say it is.
I don't know.
She's like, yeah, but the lion doesn't live in the jungle. I don't understand. The tiger is the king of the jungle. The lion doesn't even live anywhere near the jungle. Why would he be the king of the jungle?
Next time she says that, you tell her, listen, when I was a kid, Pluto was a planet. Knock it off.
And then it wasn't.
Knock it off.
And now it is again.
It's a dwarf planet. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?